Time travel, a concept both alluring and terrifying. A question that has perplexed us for centuries. Could it truly be possible? Could there be hidden truths behind the stories of people moving through time? Today, we take you on a journey to explore 7 time travel incidents that have baffled experts and left the world in awe. Each of these events will be examined based on 5 key criteria: evidence, credibility, consistency, eyewitness testimony, and motive. Get ready, because what you're about to hear might just challenge everything you thought you knew about time itself. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I kindly remind you to do subscribe. Number 1. Sir Victor Goddard's time travel incident. In 1935, Sir Victor Goddard, a British Royal Air Force officer, had an astonishing experience while flying over an abandoned airfield in Scotland. As the story goes, Goddard's plane encountered a strange, thick yellow fog that disoriented the crew. When the fog cleared, they found themselves hovering over a fully operational, modernized airfield, complete with planes and equipment that were not in existence at the time. The most chilling detail? The airfield appeared to have changed drastically in design and technology, including the presence of new aircraft and modern hangars that didn't exist in 1935. Goddard later learned that the airfield he saw was exactly as it would look in 1940, 5 years later. Goddard's story is one of the most remarkable cases of time travel reported by a respected military officer. Possible explanations. Some believe this was simply a mirage or a hallucination caused by the fog and altitude. Others speculate that this could have been a rare atmospheric phenomenon that temporarily shifted Goddard's perception of time and space. Trust score. Evidence 18 out of 20. Credibility 20 out of 20. Consistency 19 out of 20. Eyewitness testimony 18 out of 20. Motive 15 out of 20. Total trust score 90 out of 100. Number 2. The Montauk Project. Imagine a world where the boundaries of time itself are no longer limits. The Montauk Project, shrouded in secrecy, is one of the most chilling tales of time travel. Allegedly conducted in the 1970s and 1980s, this project took place at the Montauk Air Force Base in New York, where the U.S. government was rumored to conduct experiments on mind control, teleportation, and even time travel. Eyewitnesses, including Preston Nichols, claim to have been part of a series of top-secret experiments where individuals were sent back in time, possibly even meeting their alternate selves. Nichols and others have shared detailed accounts of the strange phenomena they witnessed, people lost in time, only to reappear in different decades. Some say they even saw their future selves, living through moments they hadn't yet experienced. Though no solid physical evidence has been uncovered, the testimony of those who participated in the experiments is strikingly consistent. The secrecy surrounding the project, combined with the potential motive to gain control over time itself, adds a chilling layer of plausibility to this mystery. Possible explanations. Could the Montauk Project be an elaborate government cover-up? Some suggest the bizarre tales could have been influenced by psychological manipulation or mind control experiments. Others speculate it may have been a deeply orchestrated hoax. Regardless, the consistency in witness testimonies and the credibility of those involved suggest that something extraordinary may have taken place behind those closed military doors. Trust score. Evidence 18 out of 20. Credibility 20 out of 20. Consistency 18 out of 20. Eyewitness 18 out of 20. Motive 16 out of 20. Total trust score 90 out of 100. Number 3. The Philadelphia Experiment. On a hot summer day in 1943, the U.S. Navy allegedly attempted to make the USS Eldridge, a military ship, invisible to radar. However, according to some of the crew, the experiment went far beyond invisibility. It supposedly caused the ship to disappear completely and reappear in a different location, both in space and time. Those who claim to have been aboard the ship describe seeing it vanish before their eyes, only to reappear miles away. Some sailors even reported being fused with the ship itself, a strange phenomenon that defied logic and reason. But perhaps the most extraordinary claim was that the ship had not just teleported, it had traveled through time. Though many scoff at the story, the eyewitness testimony of those who served on the USS Eldridge is compelling, and the motive behind the government's interest in controlling such technology only deepens the mystery. Possible explanations. Some theorists suggest that the event may have been a misinterpretation or exaggeration of classified naval technology. Others argue that it could have been an experiment gone wrong, perhaps a combination of electromagnetic fields and secret military research that triggered the odd effects. Still, no concrete evidence has ever emerged to confirm or deny these claims. Trust score. Evidence 16 out of 20. Credibility 19 out of 20. Consistency 17 out of 20. Eyewitness testimony 18 out of 20. Motive 16 out of 20. Total trust score 85 out of 100. Number 4. John Titor, the time traveler who predicted the future. In the early 2000s, a mysterious figure named John Titor appeared on internet forums, claiming to be a time traveler from the year 2036. He described in vivid detail future wars, political unrest, and even the development of time travel technology. John Titor's predictions were remarkably accurate, leading many to believe he had knowledge of future events. Titor's accounts were extensive. He spoke about the collapse of the U.S. government, the rise of civil wars, and technological advances that seemed to align with actual events years after he made them. Despite the fact that he disappeared from the forums without a trace, his eyewitness testimony and credibility have continued to spark debates. Possible explanations. Some skeptics argue that Titor's predictions were vague and could have been easily guessed, while others believe he may have simply been a very knowledgeable individual using historical data to create believable scenarios. The absence of concrete evidence and Titor's sudden disappearance only adds to the mystery surrounding him. Trust score. Evidence 14 out of 20. Credibility 16 out of 20. Consistency 17 out of 20. Eyewitness testimony 15 out of 20. Motive 14 out of 20. Total trust score 76 out of 100. Number 5. The case of the vanishing woman. One of the most perplexing time travel incidents occurred in 2018, when a woman appeared in a busy urban area, seemingly out of nowhere. Her appearance shocked bystanders who described her wearing clothing from an earlier era, similar to that of the 1920s, despite the fact that it was modern-day 2018. Witnesses recall the woman wandering through the streets, clearly disoriented and confused by the modern world around her. She seemed to be unaware of the advances in technology and the social changes that had occurred in the decades since her time. After being questioned by a local news crew, the woman suddenly disappeared without a trace, leaving behind more questions than answers. Possible explanations. Could this have been a case of mistaken identity, where someone in vintage clothing was simply lost? Or could the woman truly be a time traveler, displaced in time for unknown reasons? The lack of any subsequent information about the woman adds a layer of enigma to the event. Trust score. Evidence 12 out of 20. Credibility 13 out of 20. Consistency 14 out of 20. Eyewitness testimony 15 out of 20. Motive 10 out of 20. Total trust score 64 out of 100. Number 6. The mysterious time traveler in the 1940s photo. One of the most curious time travel mysteries came to light in 2009, when an old photograph from the 1940s was discovered in an antique shop. The photo showed a crowd of people gathered in front of a building, and among them, there was one person who clearly did not belong to that time period. This individual was dressed in modern clothes, holding what appeared to be a smartphone. The photo was widely circulated on the internet, with many wondering if it was a hoax or a genuine time traveler caught on film. Experts were baffled by the anachronistic clothing and technology visible in the photo, which should not have been present in the 1940s. Possible explanations. Could this be a case of modern-day people wearing costumes for a themed photo shoot? Or was the photo manipulated to deceive viewers? The blurry quality of the image and lack of concrete evidence makes this story more of an enigma than a confirmed time travel incident. Trust score. Evidence 10 out of 20. Credibility 12 out of 20. Consistency 13 out of 20. Eyewitness testimony 14 out of 20. Motive 10 out of 20. Total trust score 59 out of 100. Number 7. The Time Traveler's Radio Transmission, 1939. In 1939, an amateur radio operator in the United States received a strange transmission that sounded as if it were from the future. The voice on the radio claimed to be a time traveler from the year 2097, discussing events and technologies that had not yet been invented. The voice also spoke about advanced societies, climate change, and other issues that became relevant decades later. The operator was startled by the conversation and attempted to contact the source of the transmission, but the signal disappeared as quickly as it had come. Was this a prank or a glimpse into the future? Possible explanations. Could this transmission have been a hoax or the result of some advanced technology in the wrong hands? Some believe it was a case of misinterpreted signals, while others think it may have been a real time traveler communicating from another era. Total trust score. Evidence: 9 out of 20. Credibility: 12 out of 20. Consistency: 15 out of 20. Eyewitness testimony: 10 out of 20. Motive: 6 out of 20. Total trust score: 52 out of 100. Whether these incidents are genuine glimpses of time travelers or simply strange coincidences and elaborate hoaxes, the mysteries surrounding them continue to captivate our imaginations. While there's no definitive proof of time travel just yet, the stories of these mysterious individuals and events raise fascinating questions about the very nature of time and reality. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed these mysteries, hit subscribe to explore more from Beyond Wonder Worlds. Don't forget to like and comment below with your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious and keep wondering about what's beyond the ordinary.